Not big, but by gosh, it's number one.
All right, y'all, Team Toyota's Matt Arey here, and we're talking about fall fishing. And I want to give you a little technique, little tip, little setup that's actually helped me catch some really key fish over the last few years. And it's something that's overlooked a lot. You hear about small bait, small offerings in the fall, and that's true. But I'm going to show you one that kind of flies under the radar. Not a lot of people use it in their arsenal. And that is, you've heard scrounger-type heads, you've heard the Pulse Jig, things like that. But this is an 1/8 ounce version of the Pulse Jig. Pulse Fish Lures Pulse Jig. Okay, it's got a little bitty split tail. Actually, it's cut down, so this is actually one that Pulse Fish Lures makes. This is one of their soft bait offerings, but you can use any type of fluke style bait and just trim it down to make it a small compact offering, just like so. Again, it's on an 1/8 ounce head. I'm throwing this on a 7.2 medium action, and I'm using 8-pound P-line braid. It's a Spinx braid with a 7-pound P-line Spinx leader. And I know it's light, but you're dealing with a small, tiny bait here. And what I'm doing with this bait, I'm not just throwing it. I mean, yeah, you can use it in schooling fish and things like that. That's kind of the obvious applications, and that works a lot in the fall, especially when those fish are feeding on such small bait fish. But I'm taking this setup right here, and I'm actually skipping it around docks, floating docks, little isolated structure spots that are up a little bit shallower, targeting some more of those individual big fish that just won't hit those normal size baits in the fall. They're waiting for something that's a little bit different, a little bit smaller, a little bit more finessey to come by. This thing has a really nice subtle action, little subtle vibration, and when you wind it, you just skip it up under those docks, wind it out in a medium retrieve. It's sitting there shimmying just like that, and that little bitty thing, it's like a tender little morsel to them. They just can't resist it. So again, I'm taking this setup and I'm actually skipping docks in the fall. Now obviously this applies to any docks in the southeast primarily, up even all the way up north, but you can do it around floating docks, you can do it around community docks, you can do it around marinas. I don't care necessarily how deep it is under those docks, it just has to have fish around it. It's got to have bait presence, it's got to have life. You know, one thing when I'm dock fishing is I'll look for, number one, I'll look for life around the docks, but it's got a lot of brim floating around it, shad, algae growing on the docks. Some of the older docks especially are good targets to start with. But one thing about dock fishing, and I'll give you a little tip, when you're on a dock or lake like Lake Norman or somewhere like Lake Wiley, that's just some of the lakes here in the Carolinas, Lake Murray that have a ton of docks, look for something that separates that dock from all the other ones. Okay, look at your map, look at your Google Earth images, and you'll see a pocket that has 65 docks in it. Or, you know, it can be overwhelming when you're looking at docks, right? Trying to figure out which ones to fish. Look at the contour changes that run underneath those docks. Look at where that dock is positioned. The side of a point going in the pocket, where there's a gap between the first dock, 50 yards to the second dock, and there's the dock every 10 feet. You know, fish those isolated docks, those single docks that have you know, a deep water swing under them. They might be up on a flat, but those isolated ones typically will produce more bites than just that standard row of docks with all the same contour lines running underneath them. So keep that in mind. Take this little deal right here, use it in the fall. It'll get you a few bites when a lot of other things won't.